30 years in IT, but my passion is motorcycles. That passion has sent me on a journey to try and experience every motorcycle possible, to not only learn about the bikes, but also myself. Share the journey and let's enjoy the ride together. Ladies and gentlemen, old guy coming at you from Triumph in Waukesha today. And I put out a poll asking which bike you wanted to see first. Sadly enough, as I got here, the 2017 S1000R, which came in second on the poll, sold. So can't film that one. But number one was the Triumph Speed 400. Now, I am of the opinion that the beginner bike, quote unquote, segment is getting so good now that new riders have the best opportunities now to learn to ride. And the Speed 400 is quite possibly, from a fit and finish standpoint, one of the best bikes you can buy for $5 grand. This is $4,995 brand new. Now let's look at the Speed 400 and see what we got. The beating heart of this motorcycle is a 398cc single cylinder engine, claiming 39.5 brake horsepower at 8,000 RPMs, and also claiming 27.7 foot-pounds of torque at 6,500 RPMs. The beginner bike segment is providing so much more as far as power goes out of these engines. Now, is it a beginner bike? I'm not so sure it's just a beginner bike. It could be just a good bike. Now, we won't know that, of course, until we start riding it, but so far, I like the specs of the engine. I like how I think it's going to handle, and I'm betting it's going to be pretty torquey. Now, up front, we have a 110 70/17 tire with a single 300 millimeter disc and a bi-brake caliper. Also, steel braided brake lines, which is fantastic for $4,995. I think I'm going to be mentioning the price point quite a bit because, good Lord, you're getting a lot just so far. Now, around the back, we have a single shock. Does have preload adjustability, which in the beginner bike segment, that's about all you're going to get, and it's all you're going to really need. And it also has a 230 millimeter disc in the back with a single pot caliper. Now we're going to check the seat height, which I believe is claiming 31.1 inches. I am 5'9" tall. I have a 30-inch inseam. This tank is very, very slim, and I am on the balls of my feet. It's got a nice reach to it. Rider triangle is very, very comfortable just from sitting on it. Now, all that being said, the only way to truly understand or feel the bike is to go ride it. So let's go hit the road. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all suited up, ready to take out the Speed 400. Well, let's first get a sound check. So we have a single. All right, let's throw a leg and take it out on the road. I'm super excited. Well, it's very, very light. Clutch pull is super easy. That's insanely light. Wow. Bar end mirrors are actually pretty big. Huh. So we will not be having a quick shifter on this. What we do have is a half LCD, half analog dash. The speedometer is on the analog side. LCD is showing gear indicator, which is pretty good for a bike of this size. Coming to a stop on this bike, you know, 1 foot down. like I said in the beginning, I am 5'9". This bike shows a 31.1 inch seat height as far as the specs go from it in its lowest setting. And it's very, very comfortable. This seat is very plush. You're definitely going to work the gears. I mean, I'm in 4th gear. I just almost hitting 50. So, yeah, you're definitely going to work the gearbox on this bike. It sounds like a lawnmower because it's a single. I mean, I don't think you're going to buy this bike and hope for like the greatest sound in the world, because if you do buy this bike and think it's going to sound really great, in my opinion, it's not. It's the handlebars are nice and wide. They really are. Brakes are, wow. Brakes are stout. You don't have an adjustable suspension in the front. I did mention in the intro you do have preload in the rear. Sounds terrible. So we're going to take it for a little quick jaunt on the interstate just to see how it handles itself at interstate speed. We'll see how well it even gets to interstate speed. I mean, it should be fine. I mean, it's 40 brake horsepower is more than enough for a beginner, and it's more than enough for the normal average rider. I mean, we've gotten used to these stupid, ridiculous horsepower numbers, and to be honest, they're unnecessary. It's not needed for the normal rider. If you're going to commute, alright, we got a demo bike, so it's limiting my speed. You see that it's flashing like crazy on the RPM gauge, and it's not letting me go any further, and that's being held because of the fact that this is a demo. I mean, I'm sitting at 75, so basically if I'm going to be doing any interstate commuting, you're either going to re-gear this bike to get better at this, to get those RPMs down and kind of lose your acceleration side, or just don't do interstate riding. Because I can tell you right now, at 7,500 RPMs, this bike is stupid vibrational. I mean, crazy vibrational, which is, again, to be expected from a single. It's vibrating in the feet, it's vibrating in the hands, the mirrors are vibrating so much that I can't see through them other than a blur. I don't know if you can pick that up or not, but it's really bad. But if I'm buying this bike, am I buying it to do this? No. See, I don't think that this is just a beginner bike. I think this is a commuting bike, honestly. Little side bags on this to carry a few things. This is a great little bike for that. I think this would be a great little bike for that, as long as you don't have to do this. Interstate travel, no. I would completely avoid interstate travel on this bike. Completely. If you need to do interstate travel, this would not be the bike I would recommend. These brakes are really good. And you know, I watched a few other people talk about this bike, and You chase on two wheels, it's like it feels sluggish. You do work that gearbox a lot. Honestly, I think it could rev out a little bit more, but I'll be honest, I was talking about Chase on Two Wheels' video. He had mentioned that, yeah, the power kind of dies off, and it does. This, in demo mode, it's regulated to 7,500 RPMs, and at that 7,500 RPMs, that's when it just dies. There's no power. Its around town manners, however, its basic ride is really good. I mean, I'm just kind of going down the road right now and in a relaxed, comfortable position, and as if I'm going to go to work, and wow, it's really good. The suspension is quite plush from a non-adjustable standpoint. So a city rider, man, that's where I'm putting this bike right now. It's a city rider. I could literally just have all the power that I need. It's very, very comfortable. Very relaxed seating position. Oh, wow. I mean, like I said, it's, for me, it's a good little commuter bike. It really is. It's a good little commuting bike. Now, I'm not so sure if they're going to make like a Tiger 400 with this engine. They may. And I don't know, I might say it might be a pretty decent idea. I'd be interested to see how the Scram 400 does versus this. Now, to go with what Chase on Two Wheels was talking about, it does feel it does feel like it kind of a little bit slower to turn in than you would expect, but it's not really slow. I mean, based on his video, it was almost like, oh, it just doesn't want to turn in, is kind of what I took from the video, and I'm not getting that. It's quite flickable to me. It turns in just fine. Alright, now understanding the fact that we are in demo mode and we are restricted to 7,500 RPMs. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Time. There's 60 wasn't bad. Again, it was limited. I can only go so far, and the power just kind of does die at 7,500 when it hits the break-in rev limiter. But it wasn't terrible. I've ridden a lot worse. It's $5,000. See, it just kind of dives in. It's not as bad as it came across on other videos. Very, very easy to ride. I mean, very easy to ride. Holy cow. I don't like it. I like it, man. All right, let's line up here and try to do a U-turn. Yeah, inside of 2, so I wouldn't worry about the turning circle on this bike. I really would not worry about turning circle. gets up to speed just fine. I mean, there is no issues getting up to speed on this bike. The misconception about it's a 400, so it's useless. That's what, you know, the old school thinking of, oh, that's a girl's bike. It couldn't be further from the truth. It really couldn't. This is a great little bike. This is, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, is it the best? The question would be, is this the best bike you can buy for $5 grand? Because there's a lot of bikes that you can buy in between $4,000 and $6,000. So in between the $1,000 plus or minus of the price of this bike, I don't know. Maybe it is. Before riding it based on pure specs, no, it probably wouldn't. Because just based on pure spec sheet versus value versus price, this isn't the greatest of bikes in that category. But from a fit and finish perspective, is it like top of the line Triumph fit and finish? No, it's $5,000. They have to cut corners. You don't have an adjustable brake or clutch lever, which I still think is bullshit. No lie, I still think it's bullshit, because it doesn't matter to me if it's $5 grand. It's irrelevant, because if you're putting that same brake and clutch lever on every bike, you can spread that cost around, and the end user can have something that they didn't have before. See, I really like, for example, the Z400, the Z500, I'll just put them together, the CFMoto, the 450 NK, even the 300 NK was really good, and that was $1,000 cheaper than this, give or take. I really like those bikes because they're just good overall, simple bikes. Down in neutral. Kickstand's a little bit further back there. Alright. Let's get one more sound check of this beautiful little single. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be honest with you. I really love this bike. It's not for the highway, it's not for the commuting, it's not for highway, it's not for that kind of riding, but for a commute that doesn't need highway, in town, the way it feels, the torque from the engine, it's a really, really good bike. It's a lot of fun. I like it. I like it a lot. Special thanks to Triumph Daytona for hooking us up with this today to take out. Appreciate it. If you would, like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. So turn your back on the